All right, so get this. You're piloting a cargo plane
Mm-hmm.
over Alaska, right? It's dark, it's quiet, just you and the northern lights.
Yeah.
Then bam, you spot something out there. This is a deep dive into one of the most credible UFO sightings in history.
Wow.
It's the story of Japan Airlines Flight 1628.
Okay.
The details are pretty wild.
Yeah, this happened back on November 17, 1986.
Okay.
Captain Kenju Terauchi was the pilot.
Right.
He had over 1,000 flight hours under his belt.
So experienced.
Very experienced. He was
On
making a routine cargo run from Paris to Tokyo.
Routine.
But what happened on that flight turned it into a mystery that we're still talking about today.
Okay, so set the scene for us. It's a November night,
Yeah.
Flight 1628 over the Alaskan wilderness.
Right.
Captain Terauchi and his crew, a co-pilot and flight engineer,
Mm-hmm.
they're hauling a shipment of French wine, of all things.
Oh, interesting cargo.
I know, right? And then Terauchi sees lights off in the distance.
So unusual lights.
Yeah, and this wasn't some rookie pilot mistaking stars or another plane or something.
Oh, really? No. With his experience, he knew this was something different.
Right, so at first it's just lights,
Huh?
but then these lights start moving closer.
Okay.
They start to form a shape.
What kind of shape are we talking about?
It was a massive disc,
A
like a
disc.
flying saucer,
Wow.
twice the size of an aircraft carrier.
You're kidding?
I'm not. It was huge and pulsating with these eerie lights.
Wow, that's incredible.
Try to even imagine something that massive.
Yeah, I can't even fathom it. What could even create something that big?
And then it gets even weirder.
Huh.
This thing starts matching the plane's speed and altitude,
Like it was following them.
almost as if it was toying with them.
That's unsettling.
Yeah, the crew, they tried everything to get away from it.
What did they do?
They changed course. They even did a rapid descent to try and shake it off.
Did it work?
Nope, nothing. This thing stuck with them like glue.
The fact that it could mimic the plane's movements so precisely,
Right.
that suggests a level of control and intelligence that's really hard to explain.
Definitely. And wait, there's more.
More.
Like one giant UFO wasn't enough.
Right.
They reported seeing two smaller objects flanking the main craft.
No way.
Yeah, like a bizarre escort.
Wow. So it's not just one UFO, but three now.
And here's where it gets interesting. Multiple radar stations on the ground,
Okay.
and even other pilots flying in the area.
Mm-hmm.
They all picked up these unidentified objects.
So it wasn't just the crew of Flight 1628 seeing things.
Exactly. It was confirmed by multiple sources.
That's a lot of witnesses and radar data.
Yeah, this wasn't just some fleeting thing in the sky.
So we're talking multiple radar stations, different types of radar, all detecting these things.
Right.
That makes it tough to just dismiss this as a technical glitch or a misinterpretation.
Exactly.
This was something real, something tangible.
It was being tracked by multiple systems.
Okay, so we're dealing with something pretty substantial here.
Absolutely.
This is a really compelling case.
It is, and we're just getting started.
Can't wait to hear more.
Okay, so we've got multiple confirmations, multiple witnesses, radar data. This wasn't just some quick thing in the sky.
Right.
What happened next?
Well, after about 50 minutes,
Wow.
the encounter finally ended.
Okay.
Flight 1628 landed safely in Anchorage, Alaska.
I bet that crew was ready for a drink.
Probably.
Like a long nap?
Yeah, I'm sure they were pretty shaken up.
So what was the reaction after they landed?
It was chaotic. They were immediately debriefed by the airline, by government agencies, researchers. Everyone wanted to know what happened.
I bet, something like this would be all over the news, right?
Absolutely. It was a huge deal.
Did they ever figure out what those things were?
That's the thing no one has.
Well,
The FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration,
right.
they launched a full investigation. They looked at weather data, radar logs, the crew's testimony, everything, and they couldn't come up with a definitive explanation.
Wow. Officially unexplained.
That's right.
It must have been intense for the crew to see something that huge, that strange.
Absolutely. Imagine you're up there, thousands of feet in the air,
Right.
responsible for a plane full of cargo, and suddenly you're faced with something that defies all logic.
It would totally rock your world.
Definitely. It would challenge your sense of reality, your understanding of what's possible.
You know what always gets me? Is that this massive object, this thing twice the size of an aircraft carrier, was completely silent.
Oh, yeah.
You'd think something that big moving that fast would make some kind of noise, right?
It's one of the most baffling things about this case. You're right. Something that size and speed should generate a sonic boom,
Right.
or at least some noise, but the crew said it was completely silent.
So spooky. Like it wasn't even bound by the laws of physics.
Exactly.
Okay, so besides maybe giving the crew nightmares,
Right.
did this event have any lasting impact?
It did. The JAL 1628 incident really sparked a huge wave of interest in UFOs.
Okay.
It put the topic back on the front pages and fueled a lot of research and investigation into the phenomenon.
So this wasn't just a one-time thing. It really had staying power.
Yeah, it really did. This case is still actively discussed and debated today.
I can see why. It's one of those cases that makes you realize that there might be things out there that we just don't understand yet.
It really does make you think.
So we've established that this event was big, and it's still unexplained.
Right.
But people had to have come up with some theories, right?
Oh, there are plenty of theories. Some are pretty mundane, some are really out there.
Like what?
Well, some people suggest it could have been a misidentified aircraft.
Okay.
Maybe a secret military project that the public wasn't supposed to know about.
The classic, the government is hiding something theory.
Yeah, exactly. But if it was top secret, you'd think there would be some evidence somewhere.
Right? Like a leaked document or something.
You would. But so far, there's no credible evidence that it was a secret government project, and the government has always denied any involvement.
Of course.
But that doesn't stop the conspiracy theories.
Okay, so what other explanations are out there?
Well, another theory is that it could have been some kind of advanced drone technology.
Drones back in 1986.
Right, I know it seems strange, but drone technology back then wasn't what it is today. Some people believe that someone could have been developing drones that were way more advanced than what was publicly known.
Okay, I guess I can see that.
Yeah.
But could a drone from back then really match the speed and altitude of a jumbo jet and be completely silent?
It does seem like a stretch.
Yeah, even for a top secret project.
And again, there's no real evidence to support this theory.
So we've got no secret government projects, no super advanced drones. What else?
There's always the mistaken identity theory,
Meaning?
that maybe the crew was tired, stressed, and they misidentified something totally normal.
Okay.
Maybe it was a combination of weather conditions, lights on the ground, and just their own perception that made them think they were seeing something extraordinary.
So they saw what they wanted to see, or what they thought they were supposed to see.
Basically, yeah. The human mind can play tricks on us, especially in unusual or stressful situations.
But these were experienced pilots. They're trained to observe and assess situations accurately.
That's true.
And we can't forget about the radar confirmations from multiple sources.
You're right. It does seem unlikely that everyone involved was just seeing things.
Right.
It's a puzzle for sure. That's why the JAL 1628 incident is so fascinating.
I agree.
Even after all this time and all the attempts to explain it away, there's still this mystery, this feeling that something isn't quite adding up.
It sounds like we're running out of explanations here. So I guess that leads us to the big one.
You're talking about aliens.
Yeah. Is that even something we can consider seriously?
Well, we've looked at all the other possibilities, and none of them seem to fit. We're dealing with something that broke the rules of aviation physics of what we thought was possible back then.
Like Sherlock Holmes said, when you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
That's the logic a lot of people follow with cases like this. And while we don't have concrete proof that aliens were involved, it's an explanation that a lot of people find more convincing than the others.
Okay, so we've gone from a routine cargo flight over Alaska to the possibility of an alien encounter.
It's been quite a journey.
This deep dive has taken us a lot deeper than I expected. So here we are talking about aliens.
It's a big idea.
It is.
Yeah.
But after going through everything else, it's hard to just ignore it, right?
It's definitely where the evidence or lack of evidence points us, but
Right.
we need to be careful and think about it critically.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. But if we entertain this idea, even just for a minute, what are we really saying here? What would it mean if this really was an alien spacecraft?
Well, it would mean that we're not alone in the universe,
Right.
that somewhere out there is another intelligent civilization.
Okay.
And they have technology that's way beyond anything we can even imagine.
That's huge.
It is.
It changes how we see everything.
Completely.
Our place in the cosmos, the possibilities of the universe, it's almost too much to think about.
It really is. It's a fundamental shift in our understanding of reality.
And it raises so many questions.
A lot of questions.
Like, where do they come from? What are they doing here?
Yeah.
What kind of technology do they have?
And how did they even get here?
Right? Space is massive. Even traveling at the speed of light, it would take years to get from the nearest star system to Earth.
Exactly. That's why if this was an alien craft, they must have some kind of technology that lets them travel faster than light.
Or maybe they can bend space and time.
Right. Stuff we can only dream of.
Okay, this is blowing my mind. Are there other cases besides JAL 1628 that suggest this kind of advanced alien technology?
There are actually quite a few. Throughout history, there have been reports of UFO sightings that we just can't explain.
Like, w give me some examples.
Sure, there are reports of objects making these sharp right-angle turns at incredible speeds,
Okay.
something that would be impossible for any aircraft we know of.
Right.
There are stories of objects disappearing and reappearing instantly, like they're teleporting.
Wow.
And there are even reports of objects interacting with our technology, like shutting down nuclear missile systems.
Hold on. Shutting down nuclear missiles. That sounds like something straight out of a movie.
It does, but these are the types of stories people have been reporting for decades.
So are we saying that aliens are definitely visiting Earth, flying around, shutting down our weapons, and just messing with us?
Not necessarily. We have to be careful and not jump to conclusions.
Okay.
But I think the evidence in some cases is interesting enough to seriously consider the possibility.
So where does that leave us? What should our listeners be thinking about after this deep dive?
I think the main takeaway is that the universe is a vast and mysterious place. There's stuff out there that we just don't understand, things that challenge our current understanding of science and technology.
In cases like JAL 1628,
Exactly.
they make us look at the limits of our knowledge and consider possibilities that might seem strange at first.
They do. It's a good reminder that we're still exploring, still learning, still trying to figure out the universe and where we fit in.
And who knows? Maybe someday we'll have all the answers. Maybe
Right.
we'll meet another intelligent civilization or figure out how to travel to the stars ourselves. But until then, the mystery remains.
And that's what makes it so fascinating.
It is. The unknown, the possibility of something truly extraordinary. It makes us look up, keeps us wondering, keeps us pushing the limits of what we think we know.
Exactly. And that in itself is a valuable thing.
Yeah.
The pursuit of knowledge, the exploration of the unknown, that's what keeps us going.
So said. So there you have it, folks. A deep dive into the JAL 1628 incident.
A truly strange case.
It is. We went from a routine cargo flight over Alaska to the outer limits of what we thought was possible. It challenges our assumptions, sparks our imagination, and leaves us with more questions than answers. But that's what makes it so interesting. This is just the beginning. We encourage you to keep exploring, keep researching, keep an open mind. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to finally solve this mystery. Until next time, keep looking up.